right, so we're going to start off in the B tier. All right, so in the B tier, the reason why these are listed here is either A, they don't have enough peel potential for your Shadow Priest, or B, both targets might be squishy, or you guys don't do damage outside of goes, or scripted, or however it may be. So I'm going to go ahead and start this off here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start off obviously with the Shadow Priest. And then we're going to go ahead and start out with the Windwalker and the Holy Pally. Now, some of you are going to be like, yo, Windwalkers are freaking crazy damage. Holy Pallies are crazy healing. Shadow Priest is crazy utility, and you're right. And they're all good. They're all Glad Plus rank 1 capable. But the reason why I put this in the B tier is as a Shadow Priest, you're going to get trained, right? You have to know how to deal with being trained and having no peels on your team. You're going to have you have your Holy Pally, who has Hodge, which DRs at your Horror, which DRs with his leg sweep. So your peels are also your goes. You see what I'm saying? So in order to get peeled here, where you have Ring of Peace, you have Disarm, you have Slows, but a lot of people have ways to get around that. If they stick to you as a Shadow Priest, if you're not very good at under pressure, you're just gonna flop in this comp. Positives to this comp is you have an outrageous burst. You can literally just destroy an entire team in a couple seconds. You have a pretty good reset potential where if you guys don't get the kill, you guys can just get out of there as fast as you can. You have sacrifices, bops, freedoms. You have enough to survive for quite a while. Again, you just don't have that peel potential. So let's say somebody goes on your healer, you could disarm them and rop them, but what happens on the second go in like 20, 30 seconds, right? Let's say RMP. You're not going to have anything for then your go, and you're going to end up losing matches that way based on just peels alone. Some games you're just going to crush, some games you're just going to lose just based on that. So that's why I have the Windwalker, Shadow Priest, Holy Pally as the #1 slot in our B tier. All right, so now up next, the next part of the B tier, we're gonna do Ret Pally, Shadow Priest, Holy Pally. Right? You can also run this comp if you want to with a Resto Shaman. I would recommend just staying with the Holy Pally. You have Saved by the Lights. You have instant healing. They don't have cash. You got sacrifices, freedom, bops. You got more out of the Holy Pally, and then you also got Sank and Blessing of Sacrifice from the Ret Pally as well. So you have a lot of outs that way. So I would recommend staying with the Holy Pally, but you can't play the Resto Shaman. For the groundings and the Tremor Totems, and it just does good into casters. A little bit better into casters with the Resto Shaman. They both do really good into dampening. Resto Shaman is a little bit better into dampening because they heal targets when they're lower better, more efficiently, and they're both mana efficient. So the reason why this is also in the B tier is as much as Ret Pallies do a shit ton of damage, and as much as Shadow Priest has the utility and goes, they are both easy kill targets. All three are easy kill targets, actually. And so what's going to happen is if you get cleaved, it's going to cause your Holy Pally to actually other than, let's say, other Holy Pally teams. It's going to make more cooldowns be popped more quickly. If you're getting cleaved, yes, you have the off healing of the Ret Pally, but let's say they go you, then if he's running the tank trinket that everyone knows, that Guardian, it doesn't really go into effect on him, but not only that, they can hit you and then get your cooldowns and instantly hit the Ret Pally and get his cooldowns because Rets are squishy, Shadow Priests are squishy. So this is why I put this in the B tier because as good as it is, with all three individual classes, that you have squishy targets, you have a decent amount of peels, you have a huge amount of off heals, you can last a very, very, very long time, but you're gonna blow through cooldowns quickly in this composition, and you have a go every 1 minute. So if they're training you, you don't really have any outside pressure other than the Ret Pally, and he doesn't have any really outside pressure outside of his cooldowns. So as you guys are waiting for your goes, again, you guys can just be either like cleave down or just run out of cooldowns eventually versus comps like the Windwalker Warrior, The Walking Dead, so on and so forth, where you're all gonna get cleaved up, all gonna have to pop cooldowns, you're not gonna be able to peel for each other efficiently. So this is why I put this in the B tier. But again, super strong burst is the benefit of this comp, and you have a lot of sustainability for different matchups, right? So some matchups you're going to lose, some matchups you're going to win based on just the utility and the sustainability of your comp. So that's what I put that in the B tier. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the A tier, just because that's the only two B tiers I feel in the game for Shadow Priest. Obviously, there's other comps you can run that I just don't feel are as efficient. But for the A tier, we're gonna go ahead and move on to one of my favorite comps in the game, which is going to be the Shadow Priest Feral Paladin. You can play this also with a Resto Shaman. So the reason why I like this comp so much is you have so much sustainability. The entire game you're doing damage. The entire game you're doing damage, right? You're just consistently doing damage because of the Feral Druid. You have a decent amount of peels in this composition, right? You have the Feral stuns on the target. You can either fear or stun the off target, however you want to do it. The Paladin can stun the off target. You can triple stun on a go, DR, however you want to do it. You have the Cyclones. You have the instant healing from his swiftness healing on you, so he doesn't have to cast to heal you. He can, and then Feral Druids have such good healing on top of that if they really wanted to, just to cast heal. You have the Holy Pally sustainability with sacrifices, with bops, with him not having to cast. Mana efficiency is in this comp. You have freedoms to be able to kite people. You have a lot of survivability in this comp and a lot of damage on this comp. The only really downside to FPP is your peels do DR each other, right? So you have stuns and cyclones and fears, and they all kind of DR each other. But not only that, ferals, they're on a timer, right? After a certain amount of time, ferals kind of become a liability. Shadow Priests become a little bit of a liability because once they go through your cooldowns, you're pretty much an easy kill target. Benefit of this comp is you can split, right? A good benefit of this comp is you can have the feral sit on the healer if you want to, and he can just do maximum pressure. You throw dots over there, and you can end up doing a swap and kill somebody. So FPP is one of my favorite comps. Super, super fun to play, and they can actually do pretty decently into dampening with both Resto Shaman and Holy Pally. So I would recommend playing this comp if you have a good feral, just because it's a lot of fun. It's you have a lot of sustainability, and your goes are pretty quick. You have pretty quick goes. So this is one of my favorite comps, and I'm putting that in A tier for that reason. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one now. And this one, I had a hard time either putting it into A or S. I feel like it could go into both, but just for this reason and the reasons I'm going to go over, I'm going to put this into the A tier. We're going to do the Shadow Priest, Ellie, Holy Pally. I would only recommend playing this with a Holy Pally. Maybe when Mistweavers become strong, you can run this comp with a Mistweaver, which can be really good, but as of right now, just the Holy Pally, right? So Ellie Shadow Priest has huge goes, like one-shot goes, multiple targets. It has huge sustainability through healing surges, shadow mends, and of course you have the ore mastery goes you can do with your Holy Pally. So you just tell your Holy Pally, yo, you ready to go, set it up. Yep. You dot everybody up. He gets his Stormkeeper going. He gets his lasso ready, maybe. And then he just ore masteries. You fucking mind game somebody with a full damnation when you're in void form, and he just lets loose and kills somebody. That Ellie Shaman will just murder somebody. Ore mastery it up. Cast a lava burst. Do what he's got to do. Super strong comp. The only reason I have this in A tier, and I was thinking between A and S tier, and again, I'm not the grand poobah, so some people might think, hey, no, this is S tier, or maybe some of the other comps are going to say, no, you're wrong, this is S tier or A tier. But the reason I have this in A tier is because you have almost zero peels for each other, right? You can mind control, sure. You have hexes, sure. And then you have Hodges, sure. Okay. All that means you have nothing to stop anybody to stop your goes, right? So you're pretty much banking on one shot goes, but if you have to stun somebody for a peel, both your stuns on this comp are dispellable, right? Hodge is dispellable, horror, everything's dispellable. All your dots are dispellable. There's no protection for the dots, and hex and a lot of classes right now can purge hex. So, you kind of have to wiggle around with what you're gonna do in this comp. You're really just banking on just doing one shots and sustainability damage here. It's not even just a CC, and you're also going a lot of times, just like Shadow Play, going healers in this composition, right? So you're gonna have you're gonna have your Holy Pally, maybe run Blinding Light or Repentance for the off targets, right? You run in, you CC, you stun horror the kill target, the healer, preferably. You horror him into a void form, get your mind games out. He's popping the Stormkeeper go, and then after all that, if you don't get the kill, you get the lasso death combination that can finish off games. So that's really what you're banking on. The only reason, like I said, there's not a lot of peels for this comp. So that's why a lot of the times I put comps in lower tiers if they can't peel for a Shadow Priest, right? And this is a Shadow Priest composition guide. So if somebody can't peel for you, you're going to be running through cooldowns faster, and then you don't live as long. And that's why some of the comps that you think are really good, in my opinion, just go a little bit down because peels are essential in this burst meta, in my opinion. So, but yeah, great comp. Really fun, really good, really strong. All right, next we got RPS. and Holy Pally. Now, I prefer to play with the Holy Pally, right? I prefer to play with the Holy Pally. You can play with the Shaman. Literally, both are perfectly fine. Just the Holy Pally is better with dealing with oh shit moments. Like, hey, I need an oh shit moment here. So, RPS, why is this comp so good? Rogue has the most crazy amount of control in the game, right? They can cheap shot the kill target, kidney the off target, blind the healer, or sap, kidney, blind the healer, get all of his cooldowns. Once that happens, you can smoke bomb, kill the kill target, duel the next go. However you got to do it. This comp is crazy good. There's really no downside. The only reason why this is in the A tier is because Rogue and Shadow Priest are both squishy, right? So, unlike the other comps, you have a crap ton of peels, you have a crap ton of damage, you have a crap ton of everything in this comp. But what makes this an A tier comp is you lack the survivability with the Shadow Priest and the Rogue if they get cleaved down by, like, let's say again, like the Walking Dead, Ret Warrior, Windwalker Warrior, Windwalker Ret, whatever you're playing against, you're easily susceptible to cleave, and they both die really quickly. So that's why it's A tier. Otherwise, this would be an S tier all the way. But right now, again, we're susceptible to cleave in this burst meta, melee heavy meta. Melee heavy is really only good into rogues with disarms, ring of pieces from the Windwalkers. Windwalkers will run away. Warriors can sit in D stance, intervene. I'm saying a lot of things counter both of these classes right now in this meta. So that's why I have it in an A tier. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one, which is what I play as a main comp, but I also believe this is only A tier at the moment. You can play with any of these healers, and I'm going to put them in this order, all right? Shadow play. Shadow Priest, Affliction, Warlock, Holy Pally. All right, this is the essential Shadow play you want to play, but you can play with the Resto Shaman or a Resto Druid. I know you can play with the Resto Druid because I personally play with a Resto Druid in my threes composition. Definitely not as good as the other two, but it is still viable if you have a decent Resto Druid. He knows what he's doing. But if you want to get the most success out of this comp, play with the Holy Pally. You have your Warlock has to run his slow legendary, right? He has to run it. That's what makes this comp so good is you throw your corruption slows in everybody, gives you kite ability. You got your gateways. He has his demonic circles. You can use your door shadows. You got freedoms. So when the DPS are slow, let's say it's a melee cleave, you can slow them. You got the freedoms, so you get away if you're slowed. Get that room to cast, and then you just throw dots on everybody. Do your goads on the healer. Throw your dots on everybody. Get a UA in the healer. Like, yo, Warlock, you got a UA in the healer? Yes, I do. Damnation, Void Form, Mind Game, Silence, dead. Can't dispel, can't heal through, he just dies. So this comp is really good at killing healers. And with so many Disc Priests on the ladder and Shamans on the ladder right now, a lot of the comps you're going to queue into, you're just going to win because you do really good into Shamans, and you do really good into Disc Priests, right? The only real counter to this comp is finding Holy Paladins because of the Shadow Resistant Aura. They don't have to cast anything, so the Warlock doesn't have to kick them, and they just have a lot of sustainability with instant heals. So, with the Holy Pally, really hard to lose, but at the same time, some comps can just counter you by line of sighting your damage. So that's why it's also A tier. It's easily kiteable, or sorry, LOSable on your damage. They can purge your PI. They can purge his Dark Soul if he's running Dark Soul. There's a lot of comps that are running purges and dispels, and not only that, Warlocks don't have really good defenses. So if they sit on the Warlock, eventually, if they have a high sustain comp like Turbo, for instance, it's really good into this comp because they just have so much sustainability. They have so many stops with Tremor Toting, Ground Turning, Wind Shear, Overwatch. If they run the Mass Spell Reflect Legendary from the Warriors, like there's so many things that can stop this comp. So some of these comps that are just on the top tier just shut us down, and that's why it's A tier, right? Just because it's the comps that are on the ladder. If some of the comps are not on the ladder or in the meta, then this comp would be S tier in my opinion. But the meta is what the meta is, and we can't change that. That's what the meta. That's why it's called the meta. Eventually, things might shift based on tuning, but we'll have to see what happens. Maybe probably season 2. All right, S tier comps. These are S tier in my opinion. Again, all these comps are in my opinion, guys. What I've seen on the ladder to about 2700 level. Again, there are other obviously higher players out there, better tiers out there, but this is my guide, right? So what I feel like you guys could play to at least 2400. So what I feel we're about to go into right now is a really good comp that I enjoy a lot, and probably one of the strongest comps in the entire game is Owl Play, right? So Owl Play has huge huge damage. We've all seen the videos. We've all seen the AWC. Convoke still hits for a crap ton. You could run Kyrian if you want to, but you can cheese with Convoke still right now, guys. However you want to do it, works. So why is comp so good is you have huge damage. That's a lot of it's instant damage from the druid, so it's hard to predict when they're going to do things. But generally, when you see a root beam come off cooldown, they're going to do a go. But you can fake goes, right? You can have him root beam, and they're going to try to trade for it. Maybe you're running Convoke, and they kick Convoke, and then the Shadow Priest does his go the next CC setup. So there's a lot of things you can actually go around with this comp. The only downside is everything you do DRs each other, right? If he runs Bash instead of Root Beam, that DRs everything on your team, so he wouldn't run Bash. But you have Root Beam, which is, you get the Silence Kick. Then you have the stun from the Pally. You're stunned as a Shadow Priest. Fear, DRs are clone. So a lot of your your CC actually DRs. But a lot of time in this comp, you're just CCing different targets, right? So you're gonna be stunning the kill target, or the Pally's gonna be stunning the kill target. You're gonna stun the off target. You might get a Cyclone on one of the other off target, and then you just do goes that way, right? So you're not even basing yourself off of CC. You really just need to CC whoever has peel. So if there's a warrior on the team, you CC the warrior, and then you just all in whoever you're going, like the healer or maybe a DK or whatever that might be. And this comp just blows through a lot of comps, and it's really hard to counter because your druid can sit bear form. He can peel for you. He has regrowth off healing. Holy Pallies have Aura Mastery, which stops all kicks on you guys. So just too strong of a comp, guys. It's just really strong. If you really want to push max ratings, this is one of the comps you want to play to max ratings, right? There's really no counter to this. It's just scripted goes, but even then, when even people know it's coming, it's still hard to stop. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go into another comp that I think is probably one of the best comps in the game, and I would only recommend playing this with a Holy Pally. You could play this with a Resto Druid, but Holy Pally is the way to go. Resto Druid for more CC, Holy Pally for more sustainability and stoppage. God comp. God comp is busted right now, in my opinion, guys. Like, if you have to obviously learn it. There's a high skill cap to the comp, but once you learn it, you just murder everything. You have combustion windows like every minute, just destroying people if they're going to Shadow Priest. If they go the Mage, the Shadow Priest is just free raining on people. Holy Pally has Aura Mastery for sustainability goes. And just like they can't stop your mind games goes. You have sacrifices, you have bops, you have everything, you have freedoms, you have undispellable roots or unbreakable roots, sorry. DB Ring of Frost into a stun on the healer or whoever your kill target is, and just literally murder people in seconds. It is such a good comp. Such a good comp. The only downside is your CC stops Shadow Priest pressure. So if the mage has the poly and you have dots on that target, then you're losing pressure. But that's fine because you're good. On this comp, you play as a go-based comp, right? You run Shadow Perception, Dissonant Echoes, and you just go on your goes, right? This is not like spread pressure, which you can be if you want to, but it's more of, okay, you're just gonna hit who you can. Okay, our go's ready. Let's go on the kill target. Very easy to set up this comp. It's just, again, it just has a high skill curve, but once you get it down, this comp's gonna get you guys fucking easy glad if you can get a good composition going with this, or a good team going with this composition. All right, and then the best comp right here, guys, that you guys can possibly play, if you can get good teammates, is Warrior, Priest, Paladin. This comp has everything. Everyone knows this comp has everything. You have Intervene for melee. You have Overwatch, and then he can run the Mass Spell Reflect, or he can run the Spell Reflect Legendary for casters, right? You have Disarm, War Banner, short stuns with Stormbolt, short stuns with Horror, short stun with Paladin, Repentance, Blinding Light. You have everything in this comp. So much CC, so much peels, so much damage because of MS, right? And warriors are just busted. Defensive stance, so they can't go warrior with Ignore Pain. Defensive stance, you can't go warrior. Can't really go if you go to Shadow Priest, it's the best option to go Shadow Priest in this comp. But like, again, you have Intervene, so he intervenes you. You get the free cast. Intervene stops all melee kicks. If you have melee on you, you get the free cast. If you're running caster, he just runs the fucking legendary with Overwatch. Everyone gets fucking Spell Reflect, and boom, you just don't get kicked by casters. There's just so much that's good in this comp. All it relies on is a Shadow Priest knowing how to be trained. That's it. If you know how to be trained as a Shadow Priest, this comp's golden. Best comp, best successful comp. You can get so much out of it. Again, if you like running hybrid comps, this is the one you want to run. If you like doing caster cleave, then we have you have Owl play, you have God comp, you have Shadow play, you have Ellie Shadow Priest. But if you want to play a successful comp for the best ratings, this is it right here, guys. This will get you Glad if you learn the comp. There's no way around it. If you want to get Gladiator, run this comp, find good teammates, find a holy pally, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of room for mistake, but at the same time, if you just know how to play the comp, you find the teammates, you practice perfectly, practice perfectly, you're going to get Glad, guys. I'm promising you. Such a good comp. Super freaking strong. This is what I'd recommend. Best comp you can play. I don't play it as much, but when I did play it, it felt super easy. Again, you just have to know that you're going to be the train target as a Shadow Priest, and that's it. But yeah, guys. So that's my tier list. Again, if you have any comments or concerns, you can go and leave it down below. I already know we're gonna have some hate on this because people are gonna have different opinions. But this, again, I keep reiterating, this is my opinion, mine, of what I've seen and what I feel are good to at least 2400. I'm not talking about rank 1. I'm saying if you guys want to get Gladiator, these are the comps you guys should run, and this is where I place them. But again, I appreciate all the love and support. If you guys want to help me reach that partner on Twitch, twitch.tv/iphobia come on out, help support. We're almost there. We're about at a 69 average right now. So we're almost there. I appreciate all the love and support, and I'll try to come out with another video soon. Thanks, guys.